Tonight, the president dined at the White House, not with Republicans, but with Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. And the Democrats say they made an agreement with him to work on the two most controversial immigration issues, DACA and the border wall. And a person briefed on what happened in that meeting confirms that to CNN. But Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders is disputing some of their account tonight. So what really happened at this dinner? I want to bring in now CNN senior political analyst David Gergen and senior political commentator David Axelrod. Good evening. This is going to be a fascinating conversation. David Axelrod, you first. We have this breaking news tonight after President Trump's dinner with the Democratic leaders. Those leaders put out a statement tonight, and I want to read them, as much of it as we can read. He said, "We had a very productive meeting at the White House with the president. The discussion focused on DACA. We agreed to enshrine the protections of DACA into law quickly and to work out a package of border security excluding the wall." Excluding the wall. That's acceptable to both sides, and that's Chuck Schumer. So what do you think of this? I don't know. The president, they agree to, quote, enshrine DACA outside the wall, exclusive of the wall?
What I think is that a lot of people in Washington are going to be walking around with neck braces tomorrow from whiplash because things have changed so dramatically, so quickly. But look, let's understand something about Donald Trump. He can be a demagogue, but he's not really an ideologue. There aren't that many things that he seems to have deep convictions about. The thing he has a deep conviction about is his image as a deal maker, his image as a guy who gets stuff done. And for the last 7 months, he's gone down that partisan road, and he hasn't gotten anything done. And now he apparently has made the decision that by making these bipartisan deals, he can get things done. The real question is, how do the Republicans react to this, and how quickly will the Republican leadership put whatever deal was consummated, if indeed there was one, on the floor of the Congress?
Schumer, Pelosi, Trump agreed to fix DACA, disagree on the details. Washington, CNN Democratic leader Senator Chuck Schumer and Representative Nancy Pelosi said following a Wednesday night meeting with President Donald Trump that they have agreed to a fix on DACA and resolved to iron out a border security plan, excluding the U.S.-Mexico border wall that was one of Trump's most memorable campaign promises. In a statement following their White House dinner, Schumer and Pelosi said the parties had agreed to enshrine the protections of DACA into law quickly, and to work out a package of border security, excluding the wall, that's acceptable to both sides. The Bipartisan Dream Act would be part of the arrangement, a person briefed on the meeting said. A deal, if it holds, would be the second major agreement between Trump, Schumer and Pelosi this month, following their pact last week to raise the debt ceiling and extend government funding into December that left the GOP and some of Trump's closest allies flabbergasted. Congressional Republican leaders were absent from Wednesday's dinner, which featured Chinese food and chocolate pie for dessert, sources said, and it is unclear how they will respond to the tentative deal or proceed with legislation. Trump may also face fire from the right and his base for making a deal so quickly on DACA that doesn't include the border wall, his signature issue during the campaign. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders immediately pushed back on the idea the wall would be dropped. While DACA and border security were both discussed, excluding the wall was certainly not agreed to, Sanders said. White House Legislative Affairs Director Mark Short confirmed that the president and Democrats agreed to work to find a legislative fix for DACA, but he called Democrats' claim of a deal that would exclude wall funding intentionally misleading. Schumer's communications director Matt House retweeted Sanders' statement, then added that Trump had indeed agreed to leaving the border wall out of the equation, at least for this round. The president made clear he would continue pushing the wall, just not as part of this agreement, House tweeted. The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program had protected individuals who were brought to the United States illegally as children from deportation. The Trump administration announced last week it would give Congress 6 months to pass legislation preserving those provisions before the program was terminated. Making a deal that finds a way to keep the individuals who benefit under DACA in the United States shows the challenge of striking bipartisan deals in Washington. Now the question facing Trump is whether he can withstand the uncomfortable heat from his right flank. The dinner took place the same day House Speaker Paul Ryan and Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy met with Democratic leadership and representatives from groups in the Capitol. "It's the beginning of a listening that the president asked us to do," McCarthy said. "We've got a broken immigration system we've got to fix." It was the beginning of a discussion where we were listening to concerns. A White House official said in a statement that the topics discussed at Wednesday's dinner included tax reform, border security, DACA, infrastructure and trade. "This is a positive step toward the president's strong commitment to bipartisan solutions for the issues most important to all Americans," the statement said. The administration looks forward to continuing these conversations with leadership on both sides of the aisle. CNN's Jeremy Diamond, Elizabeth Landers, Kevin Liptak, Ted Barrett, Man Arayu, Jeff Zeleny and Lauren Fox contributed to this report.